Hi there, my name is Najwa. Welcome to my channel. This is Market Yourself with Najwa. I am here to help you unlock the wonderful tools of marketing, creative advertising that you have at your disposal, at your fingertips. You can do them. You can do them. The same things that the Fortune 500 companies have paid me lots of money to do, you can do it yourself, okay? If you're a small business owner, you're an artist, you're working on your portfolio, you're a photographer, whatever the case may be. If you are a local practicing professional, you have your own practice, if you're a lawyer, if you are a chiropractor, a therapist, you can do this stuff yourself. It's easier than you might think, and this channel is here to help you unlock that potential. So today, I really just wanted to give you less of a technical video and really talk more kind of genuinely, casually about some of the things that you can do to help market yourself. Just nudging my computer over. What I find mostly is, and this is gonna sound a little harsh, so don't take it the wrong way, but usually where I find the stopping point or that point that's holding a client back when they come to me. And let me go ahead and caveat this with saying, I want to help. I want to help every client bring that vision to life. And something that I really enjoy is doing things for people who don't have as much money as those huge budgets of, the huge brands of the world. But they have this great idea. I love helping, the underdog bring that vision to life. But honestly, if we're being quite honest, sometimes their budgets don't really reflect my hourly rate. And so I run into an issue, but I love taking on, smaller clients to help them bring their vision to life. But oftentimes they just kind of want to hang on to me. And I'm like, hey, I want to help you be able to do this stuff yourself. But they sometimes are lacking in confidence. Maybe they even just feel like they don't even know where to start. And I say, hey, I can help you. I can help you give you the tools to run your own social media ads, to create your own graphics, to create your own visual key art, your visuals or your key art with Canva or with Photoshop. It's easier than you think. And I get that look that's just like, that little freak out. Or if we're just being completely honest, sometimes people are just lazy, okay? And it's not necessarily that laziness is a bad thing. Sometimes people they work so hard during their 9 to 5, and maybe they're trying to bring this business that they're working on or this project passion that they're working on the side to life. And they just, when they get home from their full-time job, they want to work on, marketing their small business or this little, eBay store that they're running on the side, or they're this CD that they're working on. They really want to work on it, and it's not necessarily pure laziness. It's more like they're just so tired that they don't have any more energy to put into that. But I did want to talk you through some ways where there are some elements of creative advertising and strategy that you can do that really it's timeless, it's classic, and it really helps. Okay, the first thing I probably would clarify with you when you are ideating and brainstorming for ways that you can market your business is to know the benefit of your product or service. So, like I said, the clients that I work with outside of my 9 to 5, outside of my daily, are usually people who are, they write books for children, children's books authors. They could be people who are actually adult authors. They could be writing a book. It could be someone who is a musician who really, they have all of this music, but they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to put it. They don't know how to get themselves a presence, but they say, hey, I know about people who got started up on Instagram. I know people about people who got started up on MySpace. They've got a bunch of MP3s, but they don't know what to do with it. Other people that I've worked with in the past have been smaller restaurants. I've worked with companies that are like, for example, companies that have freight machines, freight vehicles, I guess, if you will. Schools, language schools. There have been these clients that have these businesses, whether it be a passion project, a business that they've really cultivated over time, but they still are sort of in between that small, medium business size threshold, and they don't really know where to go. And they can do it. They can send out their newsletter for their customers, their clients, their potential audiences. They could be putting their posts and their content on social media. They could be, going to expos. They could be doing it all themselves. but one thing that they really don't grasp is the true benefit of their service or product, okay? And you would think that that's bizarre because people like this, they are selling their product every day. And oftentimes their product is themselves. You know, you meet someone who has a local school, a local music shop, someone who is a musician, or someone who is a hairstylist, for example. They can self-market with their mouth. You know, they can self-market and tell you all about how they do what they do, and they're just great at it. But the moment that it comes to putting it down on paper, making that flyer, making that PowerPoint, making that blurb for their website, people just seem to be stumped. And I guess me as the marketing mind, I'm just like, it's really not that hard. So it really comes down to finding the unique benefit of your product, okay? In marketing, we have a fancy term for it, USP, unique selling point. This is the unique benefit that you want to emphasize to your audiences. So let's play that a different way. For example, let's take one of those examples we threw out earlier. Let's say that you're a hairstylist, okay? Let's say you're a hairstylist. You've got some unique benefit that you can choose to focus on. And when, you know, sometimes people, I think they get really, really caught up in like, they want to do everything at one moment. Do stuff quarterly, okay? What are you going to focus on for the Christmas season? What are you going to focus on for Black Friday? You know, come back later and figure out what the big brand focus is later, okay? But for right now, choose one thing at a time that you're going to focus on for a period. And as you keep doing that, you'll figure out what your big brand identity is. But let's just say you're a hairstylist and you want to come up with a unique selling point. Just say that you want to come up with a big idea for the Christmas season, okay? And you need a unique selling point for the Christmas season. Well, let's just think about it. Let's say that you are a hairstylist who's really great at working on all types of heads, okay? You can work on mom and daughter. You can work on father and son. You can work on grandma. You can work on the fashionistas. You can work on the stylists themselves. Maybe sometimes the stylists themselves don't want to do their own hair, but you've got that versatility in your repertoire where you can work on all types of people's hair. That is your unique selling point. And that right there is an evergreen selling point, meaning that it can carry on through. It's got legs. It can carry on through from one Christmas season campaign all the way up to that being your brand identity, okay? You've got that versatility. That's your unique selling point. Well, how can you emphasize that? You can communicate it on your social media, you know, find creative ways that you can communicate that to your audiences. You know, no matter what head it is, there's a seat right here for you. And you can show a picture of your stylist seat. You can decorate the stylist seat with like lots of cool ornaments to make it look like it's very royal and regal. You can actually put down a red carpet. You know, it's chic, it's kitschy, but during the Christmas season, that might actually be the thing that stops someone in their tracks. So really find what your unique benefit is. Find what your unique selling point is and push it forward. And don't bite off more than you can chew. You know, if you come up with one good visual idea, one good headline, slogan, tagline idea, you know, use that all the way throughout that Christmas season or springtime or summer, okay? And if it seems like it's resonating with someone, okay, great. You can come back and elaborate on that more. If it's not doing as well, or even if it is doing well, but you came up with another great idea, run those ads, run that type of content for 2 or 3 months and then move on to something else. Another thing is people are less inclined to get down into the weeds, pull up YouTube, okay, and do some research into how to do stuff. Facebook Business Manager is, it's essential. It's essential. It's where you can schedule your Instagram posts and reels. It's where you can schedule your Facebook posts and reels, your stories, your Instagram stories. It's where you can go and look at the analytics and see who responded to what posts. It's where you literally can run ads. It's everything. If you really want a brand presence today, you've got to be either on Instagram or Facebook or both, okay? They're really, really important at this moment. And Facebook Business Manager is a place where it's all consolidated together. Meta has made it where it's all a one-stop shop, and you kind of have to go through that one-stop shop. But people are less inclined to hop on YouTube to figure out how stuff works. Now I get this. When you first go into Facebook Business Manager, you might look at it and be like, what the heck am I looking at? I don't know what I'm doing. But take it one step at a time. Just go straight into YouTube. Okay, let's say that you want to schedule a post on Facebook. Let's just start with that one thing. I just want to schedule a post on Facebook for my business, okay? Go on YouTube. How do I schedule a post for my business on Facebook Business Manager? Okay, and then do that, okay? And then once you get into the groove of doing that, how do I schedule a reel on Facebook Business Manager? Okay, and then you get into the groove of doing that. Okay, and then let's say, hey, I want to add my cousin. My cousin is really, really good at writing. She can help me write some of my posts. How do I add an administrator to my Facebook Business Manager? Go on to YouTube, our best friend, YouTube. How do I add an administrator on Facebook? And we're going to do it here on this channel too. But like I said, I'm really busy, and sometimes I cannot give all of those answers that I wish that I could. But I want you to know that that power is in your disposal. There's so much of a wealth of information online, and it's there. There's no time limit that you need to do it. Anytime that it just comes to your mind, it takes usually 5 minutes. Usually you can find these tutorials that are really quick, usually less than 5 minutes, where they just give you exactly what you need. Pull it up, okay? When your kid is kind of playing around the house and you've got your computer there and you're not really doing anything, you're just vegging out watching TV, go ahead, look it up. It's really, really helpful. And at that point, I think you really do have to take a look at social media. You have to be posting. I think a great piece of advice for small business owners, for portfolio type people, people who have their music or their art, their graphic design, their sculptures, any type of thing like that. If you do something like custom quilts, I've seen it all, and you want to just have that Shopify store where you can sell your quilts to your friends, your family. Social media is going to be really, really important. Part of that is organic, part of that is organic and just shouting out to your friends and your family, but that's only a small percentage. After that, you're going to have to expand out. And part of that is going to be really, really having a presence on social media, having the right tags, having the right hashtags. I always use tagsfinder.com. Tagsfinder.com. Just go to Google and type in Tags Finder. It's actually a tool that you can use to go and find those social media tags. You really, really want to have a presence online, posting at the very least, I'm going to say 3 times a week. It's really, really, really important. And it's got to have the right hashtags on there, because the hashtags ensure that it'll reach out to the right people. Now, when you're doing that, of course, social media, the algorithms are changing. If this was 2015, with the right hashtags, your business could have grown, super duper fast in very, very little time. But today, with advertisers and the algorithms, they're basically set up to where they don't really want to give you the free money. They want you to pay for it. So, of course, you're going to have to supplement that with some ads. You're going to have to supplement that with some organic shout outs, actually telling people face-to-face, in person, through text chains, the people that tell them to tell a friend of a friend. You're going to have to do some of that as well. But a combination of all of that together, hashtags, telling a friend, word of mouth, text chains, emailing your contacts and telling them to take a look, and ads kind of all come together, and they will grow. It'll take time, but it will grow. I think another great piece of advice is really to just take a look at the applications. Get used to them. I know it can be really, really daunting, but you got to take a look at them. And it won't be overnight, but go and look at some tutorials, again, on YouTube, on how to use PowerPoint, on how to use Keynote, on how to use Canva, on how to use Photoshop, on how to use Illustrator and InDesign, Facebook Business Manager, Sketch. I know, it all sounds extremely overwhelming. But once you get started, you'll find that a lot of these applications have very similar ecosystems, okay? For example, Keynote, Canva, and PowerPoint all have very similar ecosystems. Don't believe what anybody tells you. Canva is almost just a very juiced up version of PowerPoint and Keynote. Word and letters. I'm sorry, what is it? The Apple version. Letters, papers, text edit. They have very, very similar attributes. InDesign has some attributes similar to Canva. InDesign has some attributes similar to Illustrator, Photoshop. They're trying to kind of put it all in one. Canva is really, really useful to use because it combines those elements of like a PowerPoint type thing, but also a design application like a Photoshop type element. So it's really useful to be there, and it's not very expensive, and it's made exactly for those who are sort of going on that learning curve, and they're just kind of figuring out how to navigate their own self-marketing. These are the type of tools that were made essentially just for you. Squarespace is another great one. Although Squarespace is actually a website template where you can, design your website or whatever, host your website. I've used Squarespace for so long, I don't love that they're increasing their prices so much. But I even use sometimes within my design elements from Squarespace. I actually integrate somehow what's in Squarespace with what's weaved throughout the rest of my brand materials, like postcards and business cards, and it somehow works. It really, really does. Favicons. Squarespace is the applications. You just got to be open to it. It involves going on each of those respective applications' website where they have the self-help section. It involves going on YouTube, like I said, and pulling up those videos, but it's really, really helpful at the end of the day. The last 2 points, let's wind up with 2 points here. I'm going to say Google. Really, really, really get close with Google. Not just Google search. Yes, you can use Google search to go and look up how to do a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, but also all of the tools that you have at your disposal with Google. You have Google My Place. I don't even know if My Place is still a thing. They rename their thing every time, but I'm sure if you look up My Place, even if they change the name of it, the tool will still be there. But that's where you can insert your store hours. If you actually have a physical in-person boutique, you can put your store hours there. You can put your reviews for people to see them when they look you up on Google. You can put links to your social media networks. If you want to, say, for example, actually have your reviews, you can have your reviews there on Google Maps. You can go and actually encourage your audience, your clients, potential clients, etc. If they come by and say, hey, leave a review on Google. I would love to have you leave a review for me. You can use Google Docs, Google Word, Google Slides to create some marketing materials, or even just internal communications for your business. YouTube. You can use YouTube to create marketing things for your business as well as internal things. It's really great. The last thing that I think I will leave you with here is another strategic point, less technical but more strategic. I'm going to leave you with a little trick from marketing. It is a SWOT map, okay? And I think sometimes it seems like people really don't know where to start with marketing. There's lots of little tools. There are the 5 W's or the 7 W's, depending on how you look at it. The when, where, why, etc., all that stuff. You've got your, like I said, your unique selling point. You've got your product benefit. You've got your roadmap. You could do a roadmap. You could do a customer journey. You could do a customer persona. There's so many things that you can do to get down to the core of your business, to really understand who your audience is, who your clientele is. You could do a research design. You could do an actual research study where you ask your clients or your potential clients or segments of your audience, your potential clients, hey, what is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to see in the domain of my business? You can absolutely use those all, but sometimes I know a lot of you all, small business owners, artists, individuals, content creators, influencers, you don't really know where to start. Try with a SWOT map. So SWOT, SWOT. So what that is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And you can literally just make that as a square on a sheet of paper, and you make 4 little areas: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Under your strengths sections, you're going to write down, and it depends. You could be doing this as a singular project for one particular product or one particular service, or you could be doing it for your whole business, okay? Now, again, if you come out kind of so broad, sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but maybe sometimes that's what you need. So depending on your different needs, the SWOT map could be where you're honing in to look at an overarching look at your whole business, or it could just be in one element of your business. But for this example, let's just say that we're looking at one particular product, okay? So let's just say that you sell some hair dryers. I don't know why I'm going to hair dryers or hair so much with this episode, but it is what it is. Let's just say that your company sells different varying tiers of hair dryers, okay? And you've got one hair dryer, and let's just say that they're really, really custom made. They're really good for all different types of hairs, and like they are good for if you have a very tangled grade of hair, they won't damage your hair, and maybe the heat is with this technology that's really interesting. But let's just say that the smaller one is less expensive, but it is smaller, and it just doesn't have as much strength, okay? So let's go in your strength sections for this lower tier of your hair dryers. The strength would be, hey, it's got this technology. It's got the same technology as our most premium version, but it's at a lower price point, affordable, so that it fits your lifestyle and your wallet type. It's compact, so that you can pack it when you go to travel to visit your relatives, or when you go on vacation. It'll easily fit into your makeup bag or in the compartment of your luggage. You know, those are some of the strengths. Then you go to weaknesses. Okay, the weakness is it might take you a bit longer to dry your hair because it doesn't have as much power as our higher version of this hair dryer. Okay, let's just say a weakness is it is smaller. It's not as big as the bigger one. So it actually, you might have to kind of do one section of your hair at a time. You list out those weaknesses so that you really know how to approach them strategically. Maybe it comes not necessarily with honeying up those weaknesses, but maybe it's just a part of being aware of it, so that when you go to write those beautiful blurbs that you write on your blog or your website or your social media, when you make that commercial, when you make those social media ads, when you make those flyers or your billboards or your expo designs, whatever it might be, in your, unique selling points, in those bullet points, in those snippets, in those headlines, you can really emphasize the strengths, but you can also be prepared for the weaknesses. And it's the same thing for when your employers or you or whoever it might be, when you're pitching that product, and people will ask you about those things, you'll already be prepared to know what those weaknesses of your services or your product is, and you'll be able to remedy it, So it's like, hey, yes, this is a smaller version. It might actually take you a little bit longer to dry your hair, but this is not the technology on any other, it's not on the streets with any other hair dryer. This has our technology. It's just because it's at a smaller size, we have to offer it to you at a little bit of a smaller price point, so it's really great for your wallet. It is a little bit smaller, but we get to give it to you at this great deal, So it's about that. It's about knowing the weaknesses so that you can also deliver it with the strengths, right? So then you also have, you have your opportunities. So what opportunities does it create? I don't know, off the top of my head, the opportunities. Well, hey, the opportunities is you have that salon boutique look without all the fuss. Again, this is just off the top of my head. You can take this to really tease it out the way that you want. The threats, of course, could be competition. Let's just say, competition with some of the bigger players within the hair dryer, brand ecosystem, etc., etc. But really know your service, know your products, and then you can really know how to market it really well. I'll end it there. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, I'm going to be coming back to you with more of these videos about just simple, practical knowledge about how you can really, really level up marketing yourself. I know that you can do it. These tools are out there for you to unlock. But again, if at any moment you ever think it's a little bit too much for you, you can contact me. We can schedule a one-on-one and we can talk about your marketing goals together. I will put my email below here. And with that being said, I will catch you guys next time. I hope this was really helpful. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, comments below. I will see you guys next time. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell. That way you know whenever I post a video. Have a great one. Bye.